Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the second edition of the workshop on Internet of Things that involves several companies that are focused on the Internet of Things on this very interesting topic, the Internet of Things topic. In particular, this year we have received the, I believe, and the collaboration of 10 companies focused on these topics. My name is Luigi Patrono. I'm assistant professor at the University of Salento, and I'm a scientific coordinator of Identification Automation Laboratory, a research group focused on the Internet of Things and the smart environment. I've organized this event in collaboration with my colleague Luca Catalinucci, and I thank you very much Tony and Peter Solic for the local collaboration and support. The goal of this workshop is to present big and small companies focused on these interesting topics. And the goal is to create a potential collaboration and partnership in order to work together for international project. I think that to consolidate a strong network among these kind of companies is fundamental to reach the goal of the Internet of Things. So the 10 companies involved in this workshop are ST Microelectronics, Amplifico, Manas, SensorID, Siemens, Include, SoftThings, Ericsson, Selmet, and the last kind RFID. The first presentation is related to the ST Microelectronics company. The speaker is Andrea Palmieri. The title of his presentation is Prototyping Internet of Things Node with STM32. Please, 10 minutes, please. Thank you.
So I just want to add, after the presentations, all of you, don't leave. We have an exhibition session before the grand opening of the conference. So you're welcome to join us. Thanks.
So, thank you, Luigi. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. I'm Andrea Palmieri from ST Microelectronics from Italy. I will give you an overview of the company along with an overview of the program launched by ST to promote the development of IoT application based on STM32 platforms. Here, just some numbers regarding the company. ST is a semiconductor world leader with a revenue of about $7 billion in the last 2016, and the total number of employees spread in different countries all over the world of about 45,000 people. ST has also a big commitment in research and development activities with a portfolio of about 16,000 patents and the number of people and employees involved in research and development activities of about 7,500 people. So you can find ST solution inside the different appliances and electronics devices, contributing to make things smarter, greener, more connected, and smarter in general. So we can summarize our vision by saying that everywhere microelectronics can make a positive contribution to people's life, ST can be found there. ST has a large diversified customer base, including both key customers but also distributors to address the general mass market. Here are some examples of famous products, including ST solutions, such as the Apple Watch, embedding the gyroscope and accelerometer components, or the Samsung Galaxy S6 with the touchscreen controller, or again the Apple TV remote embedding the STM32L1 Micro. So we, as ST, we think that we can offer all the building blocks which allow the IoT developers to create any kind of IoT device that could come to our mind. What is in general IoT? IoT is, can be considered not only a single application as such, but more as a trend, a movement to sensorize everything, to get everything connected each other and also to the cloud, in order to transfer the data that each IoT node can sense from the environment to the cloud. In general, we can say that IoT devices come with different form factor, but they have all the same needs. I mean that in general we need some processing, some sensing, some connectivity functionalities. But to satisfy this requirement, we need to offer a broad range of products, as it happens in the case of ST. In fact, in some devices you may need some low power constraints processing. In some other device you may need some powerful processing units. And ST can satisfy such requirement, offering a large portfolio of products. And it is here where the STM32 Open Development Environment come and plays its role. This is a program launched by ST, as I said before, in order to lower, if you want, the barrier for IoT developers and allow him to build any kind of IoT device. Starting from an idea, then come to the prototype version of the IoT device, and finally with the possibility to go to production with the partnership with the third-party companies that allow to create, as we will see later, modules including all the functionalities that we find in the prototype version. The key components of the program include both hardware and software. Basically, we have a motherboard, including the processing unit, the STM32 Nucleo development board, and on the other end, we have the STM32 Nucleo expansion boards, which allow the user to add the typical IoT functionalities, such as sensing connectivity. In parallel, we have both the companion software for driving the development-based board, but also the software, the drivers, the libraries, and the sample application for the expansion boards. In the last year, we added more functionalities in terms of sensing and connectivity, but we went beyond because we added to the program the so-called function packs. They are pre-integrated software package that allow the IoT developer to concentrate on the final application without spending time in assembling the hardware and the software. We also created, as I said before, a partnership with other companies that can move from the prototype version to the modules, and we will see an example later. Here we have an example of Nucleo motherboard, the 64 pins layout. All the Nucleos share the same layout with a different micro, obviously, at the center of the board, and two sets in general of connectors. The Arduino connector, which allow the maximum, which provide the maximum compatibility with the Arduino Shield, and the external Morpho. This is a proprietary connector which guarantees the maximum accessibility in terms of pins. In the upper layer, in the upper section, we have a removable part of the board, including the ST-Link firmware, which allow to program and debug the Nucleo board. The price of each Nucleo is about $10. You can find, we have at portfolio 16 families of Nucleo board, ranging from low power solutions to high performance solutions. You can find all the documentation, the schematics, and also the software on the official ST website. Here we have just an example of expansion board, the one including the MEMS motion sensors and environmental sensors with the pressure, humidity, and temperature sensors. Also in this case we have two sets of connectors, and also in this case the layout is less or more the same with the key components provided by ST to provide the main functionality of the expansion board. Currently we have 37 expansion boards in our portfolio, covering all the typical IoT functionalities. The price of each expansion board is on average between $25 and $30. Also in this case you can find all the stuff, the documentation and the software on the official ST website. So we can say that the only thing that we can give you is the idea. Then, starting from your idea, you as IoT developers can create a prototype, stack on top of each other the expansion board, and can go hopefully to production with modules provided by external companies, partners of ST, as it happens in the case of CloudGem, which is a development board including Wi-Fi connectivity, MEMS sensors, and NFC functionality, provided by a company called RushUp. So, let me conclude by saying that ST is also taking care of aspects regarding security, provisioning, device update, and if needed, the commissioning of the IoT devices to cover all the steps of the IoT lifecycle. So I think that you as IoT developers will appreciate our environment, the STM32 Open Development Environment. So thank you again, and stay in touch with ST.
Next presentation is related to Amplifico. The speaker is Dario Boras. The title of presentation Parkilio, Smart Parking Basic. Please, 10 minutes.
No problem. We don't have any remote for switching the slides.
Okay.
No, I don't need it. You don't have any.
I can use
is this here. Let's check it out. Okay, it's okay. And you can use this here to point red point. Okay, no problem. It's Bluetooth here device. 10 minutes. Yep, I'll be much shorter. For some reason, it doesn't want to. Oh, it's good here. Oh, great. So, hi everyone. My name is Dario Boras, and I'm the CEO of company Amplifico, which stands behind Project Parkley. So, basically, I'm going to try to keep my presentation super short, so we can have more time for mutual interaction and questions from your side. My compliments to the organizers. I think this is a great form of organizing IoT events by having a workshop over there and presentations here. So it's undisputable that IoT is changing the shape of our world. So I want to start my presentation by talking about the problem that we're solving with our product. So did you know that 30% of traffic is caused by a search for a parking place? It takes up to 21 minutes to find a parking place in urban areas. 82% of drivers are unsatisfied with the current parking place situation. There are 2 trillion parking-related searches on the internet per minute. The world is in a desperate need for a parking solution, and Parkley is just the medicine the world needs. It enables real-time parking place reservation and parallel physical prevention of unauthorized parking. So this is where all the magic happens. Just a short demonstration. So you can book any parking place in real time where this parking barrier is installed. I book it at the moment here, so I can place it down. It should work. And it's going up. So we're going to be out later on, so you can come to our stand and we can talk about all the functionalities it has, because we can talk about 2 hours about it. I'm not going to be so long. So it's solar powered. We have developed our own battery solution by using Panasonic cells, the same cells Tesla uses in his cars. We have a set of mechanical keys, and basically smartphone control. We have developed a fully functional Android and iOS mobile application. So challenges. I think like the big 4 challenges we had while developing this product. The first one we had was the connectivity, which technology to use while connecting smartphone with this parking barrier. At the moment we are using Bluetooth Low Energy 4.2. In future times we plan to implement LoRa. Security-wise, also a great problem in the whole IoT industry. We have collaborated with professors here at the university, and we have a great protocol for communication between smartphone and the parking barrier. Power, another great problem while developing IoT products. The main reason we chose 4.2 Bluetooth Low Energy is the power, the battery drain, because it could withstand up to 6 months on just one battery charge. And legislation. I mean, all of us here in the IoT industry, we're developing hardware when it comes to IoT. And if you want to place an IoT on the market, you need to have so many certificates which many people are unaware of. I see so many startups and people developing hardware and placing their product on the market without any CE mark and other marks which are required in the European market, which is very dangerous and something to keep in mind. Competitive advantage. Why do we think we have a great product? We have a great product because we're using the best the IoT can offer at the moment. We have a pending utility patent for this product. Advanced technology, as I said, everything in this barrier is custom made. For the past 2 years, we've been developing only this to make it the best product in the world, which solves a real problem. And low price, it costs only 320 euros. You can check our website, we have 10% discount, so hurry up before we're out of stock. And I want to talk just short about the business model. So there are two channels to generate revenue with this model. One of them is by selling the physical product, which is the parking barrier, and the second one is taking 20% of transaction fee on each online parking place reservation. It's like an Uber model. So this is the team behind the whole project. We all, as a matter of fact, we all studied here in FES. We finished our college 3 years ago, and since then we've been developing IoT products, and this is our flagship project, something we're very proud of. As a matter of fact, a month ago, we've been voted as the second best early stage startup in the world in Singapore, something that we are very proud of. So Tony sent me a few days a short template about this presentation and opportunities. That's the title I like so much because I think IoT really is an opportunity for us to take advantage of technology to solve a real life emerging problem and leave our mark in this world. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, please do ask me. So this is our website and mail. Thank you.
Next presentation is related to Manas, a big company. The speakers are Nino Lijak and Ante Veta. Okay. The title of their presentation is Drones and Internet of Things. Thank you. 10 minutes.
So, hello to you all. My name is Nino. This is my colleague Ante.
Hello everyone.
Our presentation is about drones and Internet of Things. So we'll present you our Plurato SCAM system. But first, a few words about us. Plurato is one of the two startups that we have. First one is Hotels Touch. It's a software startup where we develop cloud solution for hotels. So second one is Plurato. It's all about robotics. So it was founded 3 years ago, and we developed drones. We have one drone outside, so we can see it later. And we also develop robots for warehouses and automatic industrial robot cleaners. So now my colleague Ante will talk about our octocopter, our Plurato SkyScam system, and later I will be talking about Internet of Things and drones.
Thank you. From my aspect as one of the main constructors and developers on this project, I would like to talk about, since from the beginning, from aluminium bars and sheets that we used, and go up to this model that we finally constructed, that is made of carbon fiberglass also, but we don't have enough time, so I'm going to be short. We developed a drone platform that on which we can stick nearly anything, nearly any kind of sensor, camera, or anything you like. For example, our latest demand was to set a light, an LED light on a drone. We did it in 1 week. We put a 100-watt light on a drone so we can light up the ground beneath it. Drone technology is blossoming, drone production is blossoming, but we need to have a catch. The catch was to make it make its flight time nearly unlimited, so we did that. We can fly it with batteries for approximately 20 minutes. It can carry a payload about 3 kilos, but we can make it bigger if you want. But the catch was we developed a smart winding system, which you can see outside, that can supply drone, and his flight time is then nearly unlimited. simple. You just plug it into AC power supply or on a generator if you're on a remote location. You plug it into a power supply on a drone, and that's it. Whole control is on a remote control from a drone. This is one of this is the most of the things we put on the drone. It can do mapping. For example, for fire department in Split, we developed a drone that can map areas that were affected by forest fire, and it can, with thermal imaging, it can find hotspots that can reignite after a while. Even after 72 hours, fire can reignite. This is our latest product. We thought it would be hard to put everything and carry everything, so we put everything in a trailer. There is a generator, there is a smart rewinder system that we developed, and there is a drone, and it can all be deployed in 1 minute. So you just take out the drone, connect it to a smart rewinder system, and you take off. That simple. This is a project for fire department in Split. We also have developed some drones for fire department in Dubrovnik, and everything works fine. We use thermal imaging, visual spectrum imaging, and we can put any sensor you like and any sensor you need.
Okay, thank you, Ante. Now I want to show you some video footages to show our SkyCam in action. So
this is the light.
This is our SkyCam with this LED light. So it's like flying reflector. So in the dark, you can see anything. Something like that. So let there be light. No. Okay. And the second video is about our camera with the full zoom. So when we zoom out it, you can see where the drone was. So we have a camera that has optical zoom with
30 times.
30 times.
Optical zoom.
So another footage with zoom. Okay, we don't have a lot of time for...
Most of the cameras on the drones in the commercial, they have only digital zoom, so they can't do all this fine work.
So today you can read a lot of articles about drones and Internet of Things and how drones fit into Internet of Things. And the main question is, can the drones be used in the Internet of Things? So the answer is yes. Today there are a lot of applications, and who knows what the future will bring us. So drones can be used as a communication between static sensors and data collector points, or they can replace static sensors. So you can carry them wherever you want. You can easily set them up. They can measure anything. They can carry a lot of different payloads, flexible payloads. So it's important that they can do all the work you need at the moment you need. So here are a few applications of drones in Internet of Things. For example, in agriculture, if you have some large field and you want to control the condition of your soil, you will place some small sensors on the ground. And so it's expensive to put a 3G model to each sensor. So it's easier to fly over the field from time to time with the drone and to pick up all the data you want from those sensors. So also you can use a drone as a communication link. So let's say you have some team on the place where there is no 3G or GSM connectivity. You pull up your drone with a communication device on which everyone can connect. So now your team has eyes on the sky. They can see everything, they can communicate, they can send video data, photo data, text data, and they can also communicate with their main control. Also with construction and traffic control, you can take pictures, then machine learning can process the pictures and send alert if something is wrong. Let's say, for example, for the construction, if it's not on schedule, or in the traffic, if there's some kind of problem in traffic. So advantage of drone is that you don't need to use fixed cameras because you have flexible camera and you can use it whenever you need it.
Even on remote locations.
Yeah. So our drone is like a platform for Internet of Things. We can unlimited flight time when we are on cable supply, and we can carry almost anything up to 3 kilos. So we are open for any suggestions and for collaboration. If you have something you want to ask, we will be outside after this presentation. So thank you for your time.
Next company is Sensor ID. Speaker is Alfredo Salvatore. The title of this presentation is Wearable RFID Devices for Internet of Things application. Please.
Okay, good morning to everyone. My name is Alfredo Salvatore. I am the CEO of Sensor ID. We are a small Italian company based in the south of Italy. We started our activities in 2011, and we started from an experience in the scientific park of the University of Pisa, where all the co-founders graduated. And our focus is totally on the wireless technology for IoT. Basically, we have two main activities. The first one is the development of our product, mainly based on RFID and proximity technology, and another activity is develop R&D project for our customer according to the requirements. This is the scheme of our organization. Mainly we have 5 units, and recently we activated also an R&D EU project unit to participate to R&D project like the Horizon framework, and also a software unit in order to develop a fully integrated solution with our devices. We have also productive assets. Inside our lab we have the capability to realize physically our devices. Actually we have an SMD equipment that allow us to reduce time and cost of the realizing of prototype. Most of the time the design of an electronic device is linked not only to the engineering process in terms of hardware design, firmware development, but also on the realize of the prototype. Thanks to our equipment, we can reduce this time, allowing also the possibility to customize product according to the requirements of our customer, even for low volume, even for low batches. This is mainly an overview of our product portfolio of RFID products. We have several versions of our RFID products in all the frequency from LF 125 kHz, 13 and 56 MHz, and UHF. And these are main of just an overview of the version of our devices. We are also engaged in some R&D project. This is just an overview of the project we participated. We activated we are engaged not only in the public funding project, but also in a private funding project. One of our main customer in this case is Technogym, that I guess you know is the wellness manufacturing company, and for those kind of companies we realized also R&D project for for IoT technology and mainly on wireless technology for their own project. Today I want just to give you an overview about the main difference between the devices realized for IoT and IOP. So IOP is the Internet of People, IoT is Internet of Things. Which are the main differences? Behind the main physical differences that can be the processing performances that you need in order to run the application, the possibility that the device give you to install application, and how complex is the user interface and the constraint of the power consumption. What is extremely important is that most of the time IOP devices, so the devices for people, are chosen by people itself. So when a person wants to buy a smartphone, a smartwatch, a PC, a laptop, and so on, they choose their device. In most cases, people that use IoT devices don't choose it because some other one choose for them. That's why the most important approach in designing IoT devices for people is to realize a non-invasive devices and a very easy to use. This is one of the main topics we have in our company, the wearable devices for workers. So those are the characteristics of the devices that basically I have already summarized. So the goal is to have an easy to use devices, a non-invasive, lightweight. Another important goal is to have high reliability, high strengthness to the environment that could be dirty, rainy, and so on. And the most important thing is that there has to be no impact on the process. So no loss of time, not introduction of complication into the process. This is one of our solution in this case. This is a solution for the waste management. So the identification of the bins or of the bag with UHF RFID tag, and the recognition of this bin or bag associated to the citizen. So each citizen has associated the bin or the bag for the specific material. The operator is able to automatically recognize this tag with the wearable devices without interact with it, just with two buttons that allow to advise, for example, alert or anomalies and so on. The device is directly connected to a cloud platform through GPS and to GPRS network. The goal is to have no middleware. So most of the RFID projects are based on middleware. So there is some software layers between the device and the management platform. In this scenario, this is a complication, because most of the time the operator have no technology skill, and also the owners of the services have no technology skills. So what is the important thing is to have no installation in terms of software, in terms of hardware, no maintenance. So everything into the cloud, directly connected to the device. This is the screenshot of our platform that allow to have a geolocalization either of the readings of the tag, either of the tracking of the operators based on the GPS. Another example is the wearable solution for Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is a paradigm that is growing in these months, and the RFID is one of enabling technology of this paradigm. One of the goals is to identify to the process, in the manufacturing process, each part of the process. These are one of the sectors in which we are engaged for automotive application. We have two kinds of approach. The goal is to replace the industrial handheld for the control of picking. German manufacturer of cars call this process supermarket. That is basically the control of picking of each components into the production line. We have three possibilities of integration. One of them is the integration with a middleware called Crosstalk, for example, developed by one of the most important company engaged in this market that now is part of Katrine. And another possibility is the direct integration with the Wi-Fi enterprise network that are already installed into the production line in the automotive sector. And also another possibility is to the integration with another wearable devices that lost the challenge of consumer market, but are winning the challenge of professional market, smart glasses. So I don't know if how many of you knows that Google Glass are still on the market. Google Glass are sold by Google partner just for professional application. One of our partners is Ubimax, a German company that is the most important Google partner for Google Glass. And we did the integration of this device with Google Glasses to automatically recognize the UHF tag on the production line without any effort for the operators. Another application is for the, I call welfare, for the social application. This is our product that is basically a stick for blind people. This stick has the capability to read a left tag on the bottom. So basically the application is based on the concept to install into the ground a left tag and associate this tag to an audio guide, to a message that this guide that the people can hear by the smartphone or headphone. So automatically the stick can read the tag and the smartphone can with a text-to-speech algorithm can say the information associated to the tag. This is one of our case history. The first case, this project was born for Expo Milan 2015, and together with our partner, we are continuing the installation in other environment. Thanks. If you want to see some demos of our devices, we are in the booth outside.
Thank you. Next company is Siemens. The speaker is Dennis Jakus. Okay. The title of the presentation is Industry 4.0 Security Aspect in Development of Enterprise Application for Internet of Things. It's 10 minutes.
Okay, just. Oops. Which your okay. This one. Okay, please.
So, hi, good morning. My name is Denis Jakus. I'm project manager at Siemens Convergence Creators, and I'll be today talking about security aspects of enterprise applications. So, Siemens Convergence Creators is a child company of Siemens, which is focused on creating mediation products for telco companies, satellite companies, and smart factories. What is Industry 4.0? Industry 4.0 is basically created by German government back then at 2011 when it released the first official paper in which stated stated what Industry 4.0 is, what are the strategic initiatives. So the German initiative is to create smart factories by the end of 2020. In that document, German government defined what are the key components, what are the key principles, and here we have some kind of, I name it a tic-tac-toe table in which we have defined what are the key components and what are the key principles for each component. So as you can see here, key components are CPS, which stands for Cyber Physical Systems, which are basically only hardware devices which are all connected together and they form an Internet of Things, and they all together are using some kind of Internet of Services. So those services can be on-premise or somewhere in the cloud. And smart factories are basically consisted of all of these cyber physical systems, IOTs, and iOS services. Enterprise application, as we can see here, we have two definitions, but basically what enterprise application is a complex system which is comprised of a lot of functional and non-functional requirements. And nowadays, most focused non-functional requirement is definitely security. Since I'm coming from a developer side, so I have a developer background experience, I faced with a lot of these security risks, especially with the SQL injections, cross-site scripting, security misconfigurations, and unprotected APIs. Since we have a lot of security issues and risks, there are a bunch of media which are talking about all kind of hacks, viruses, infections, etc. Especially nowadays, in focus is WannaCry ransomware, which basically encrypts your data, and they want you to pay them just to encrypt your data. So regarding smart factories consists of all of these, as I said previously, IoT, IS services. Regarding hardware, smart factories, they have PLCs, IoT 2040 devices. Those devices are basically industry-grade devices. They talk to each other with a bunch of different protocols, especially with UPC, UA, MQTT, and MQP. MQTT stands for Message Queuing Telemetry Transport, which is basically used for communication between satellites. MQP is basically stands for Advanced Message Queuing Protocol, and that protocol is basically trying to make it interoperable between all different protocols, or one protocol to rule them all. And they are all basically made on publish and subscribe architecture. So since we have a bunch of hardware devices, we also have a bunch of other services and applications, and they all need to be consistent, they need to be secure, so we need to use all kind of VPNs, all kind of certificates, etc. So security principles are basically based on these three words: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That means that we need to provide the protection from unauthorized access to business data, application, and infrastructure. And integrity means that we need to have data unchanged when it transfers from one device to another device. and especially in smart factories, there is a need for high availability and real-time data. So when we are designing enterprise application, we need to start from the ground up, and that means that we need to create a very good infrastructure, which means that we need to have a bunch of firewalls, demilitarized zones, HTTP, SSL, isolation and redundancy stuff included. On top of that, then we need to start creating our application, and our application must use a TDD architecture. That means test-driven development architecture, in which we need to implement unit test, end-to-end test, integration test, etc. After that, we need to think about having two different types of environments, and that's staging environment and production environment. Staging environment is the one which is constantly being upgraded and developed. It's a stage in which we need to use some kind of vulnerability scanners like Nessus, etc. And after we pass the staging, we go to production ready phase. Production ready phase is basically a phase in which we are already talking with the customer. We need to prepare all the whole enterprise application. We need to prepare for acceptance testing, and that's basically it. So we have a kind of literature and websites here available. So it's a pretty short presentation.
Next company is included. The speaker is Joseph. Due il relay. The title is very short but very strong. Smart Bench is 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Hello everybody, my name is Due Roer and I'm an engineer at Include, and this is our product, Stiora, the Smart Bench. This is a little bit about us. We started in 2014 when Ivan developed the first prototype, and from then on he just kept working on it, and then in 2015 it really jumped when we sold our first benches, people were hired, and from then on it's been a really steep incline, and we have sold by the end of the next year 150 benches, and by now we have sold 375 benches and employed over 30 people. So it has been a crazy year and a half where everybody was really trying. So, what is my mission? My mission is to make the boss happy. And the boss says that we have to be the world's leader in creating innovative solutions for citizens' needs, everyday citizen needs. So what does the everyday citizen need? It needs to sit down, right? It needs to charge its phone and connect to the internet. But the Smart Bench really offers much more than that. So it's run on solar power. It's got 2 solar panels, as you can see. It's got a strong battery system that can last for a long time. And it has the USB ports for charging your phones. It has a wireless charger for those people who can charge phones wirelessly. It has a free Wi-Fi hotspot that is used. That is like one of those things that is used all the time that you want wherever you go. And it's got a cooling systems, because those solar panels, they get really hot. So we have those cooling systems so you don't
so you can sit nicely on it, and it's got ambient light, so at night it's glowing, like there's an LED strip that glows. And what do we have? We have data gathering. So that's an interesting point. Why do we need that? What kind of data first do we gather? We gather temperature, humidity, how many devices were charged, and this is actually a selling point. So if you know how many devices were charged, then you can then you know if the bench is working, if that is something that people want, and you're going to buy more benches, and you're going to talk to other people and say, "Dali, this is an interesting product." And we also gather how many people connected to the Wi-Fi. Energy production and consumption. You want to know how much energy was produced, how much was consumed, and okay, so there's also air quality and all kinds of sensors. But it doesn't just go one way. So it's not that the bench is sending data to us. Well, these here are the graphs that we have on our platform. So you can see what kind of temperature it was during the month, how many people charge their phones and everything like that. But it also goes the other way. So the bench can get the data from the servers. What kind of data? We can set the configuration. For example, you see that it's getting too hot. The seat is getting too hot. You want to change the configuration of the cooling fans. You're going to bring down the temperature, that is the trigger to turning on the cooling fans. So you need to have it both ways. We also have, let's say, there's information if there's bad weather around the bench. So nobody's going to use it if it's raining, if it's cloudy, if it's like really bad weather. So the bench is going to go into a standby mode. So it's going to save energy. And that's also one of the things that goes both ways. So it gets information like, is it raining? Yes, it's raining, and then it checks its sensors, its humidity sensors, solar voltage, and if all those conditions check, then it goes into standby. So that's kind of what makes it really an IoT product. What are current challenges? Since we are rapidly growing, we have to meet the market demands. Okay, so now we have a lot of people in different countries that are selling benches for us, and they're telling us we need 20 benches a month, we need 30 benches a month, and so on. So we have to meet those demands. You can't back down from a market demand. So that's why we're scaling to a large production. We're moving to bigger spaces, relocating, taking more people, which requires organization, which is a big problem right now. So as it scales up really fast, you need to hire people who are going to organize other people. The platform, which holds all the sensor data, is given to the users, to the customers. Whoever has the bench has access to the platform, and they have their own demands and so on. So we're always improving on that platform, adding new functionalities to the bench. So we're working on another version of the bench. It's going to have a display which can display ads and so on. So that's a new functionality, and there's always things you can add. The opportunities for all the students or all the people who want to work with us. Right now we have employed a lot of new people since this scaling up, but since we're relocating right now, we're going to need even more people. So anyone interested can check at includes/careers for any open positions. And that's it. Very short presentation.
Next, very small, very young company is SoftThings. It's a startup company at the University of Salento. The speaker is Piero Rametta. The title
this presentation is IoT technologies for the new user-centric services, the SoftThings vision.
Good morning, my name is Pier Cosimo Rametta from Lecce, Italy, and I'm here to present our young and small company whose name is SoftThings. SoftThings is an innovative startup born just 1 year ago and is made up of people with different yet complementary expertise. And in fact, there are 2 associate professors who handle courses on computer networks and software engineering, and there are also 1 PhD student, 2 PhDs, and 3 research fellows. Moreover, one of the co-founders is a business consultant cooperative, and since SoftThings is also an academic spin-off, also the University of Salento is part of the company. The mission of SoftThings is the design and development of innovative solutions based on cloud and IoT technologies in order to provide added value services to both other companies and final users in different application fields, such as healthcare, pharmaceuticals, smart cities, and tourism, and so on. Of course, SoftThings doesn't start from scratch, since 8 of us are members of IDA Lab since 2008. IDA Lab is a research laboratory of the Department of Innovation Engineering of the University of Salento, focused for years on IoT technologies. Therefore, for this reason, we can count on the experiences gained after the participation in several research projects, and we can also exploit the several active collaborations with many leading companies in IoT field. This slide briefly summarizes the main typologies of services that SoftThings provides. The first one is CRM, that is customer relationship management, and we support companies in managing their relationships with their customer by providing ad hoc services for many application scenarios. We can also design and develop software solutions for any platform, ranging from web applications to mobile applications. And finally, we can also provide customized smart environments by creating a multi-layer architecture based on the most recent technologies, such as Bluetooth Low Energy, NFC, RFID, and so on. Regarding the CRM services, we are focused on the design and development of innovative solutions able to foresee the end user needs with a twofold objective: to improve the end user satisfaction and experience, and also to increase the profit of companies adopting our solutions. In this case, we have worked at two services. The first one is NoQ, that is a kind of queue management system aimed at minimizing the waiting time spent by the users before getting a table in a restaurant. And then Baron Beach is a service for ordering drinks and food and any beach services directly from the beach umbrella by using the smartphone. In particular, the NoQ service can be summarized by the following 4 steps. Firstly, the restaurant's owner is simply to register to the system through a web application. Once registered, he receives a QR code containing a unique ID of the restaurant, and he can put this QR code at the entrance of the restaurant. When the restaurant is full and crowded, the user, simply by using the NoQ customer mobile application, can simply scan the QR code at the restaurant and select the number of seats needed, and then the reservation is automatically added to the queue. And so the customer doesn't need to wait at the restaurant, but he can spend this time doing something else nearby. When the table is about to be released, the waiter, by using the no-queue operator mobile application, can send a notification, push notification to the application of the customer, so he can timely get back to the restaurant and take the seat. In any moment, the restaurant owner can consult some analytics provided by the system, which can be exploited to define new ad hoc and loyalty strategies. The Bar on Beach service works more or less in the same way. In fact, the manager of the betting establishment registers to the system and inserts the menu, the bar menu. Once registered, he receives the QR code that should be put under each beach umbrella. And then the customer, by using a simple QR code scanning application, can scan the QR code and gets redirected to the web page of the menu of the bar, so you can select what to order. Once confirmed, the order gets directly to the bar printer that produces the command, and after a while the customer receives what he ordered directly at the beach umbrella, and he can also pay at the waiter without going to the bar and doing the queue. Regarding smart environments application, instead we are focused on the development of these solutions able to monitor objects or people in order to automatically send alerts about territorial interest to interested users. In this context, we are currently working on two solutions for two completely different application scenarios, but having the same final goal, that is to speed up the intervention procedures. In fact, Smart EC is a service to improve the emergency management in hospitals, able to automatically alert intensivists when an emergency cart is used for an emergency. Instead, SafeRally is a rally driver's remote monitor system for automatic alerting race officers in case of several accidents. In detail, in the Smart SC service, each emergency cart is equipped with a smart box able to monitor its connection to the power supply. When the emergency cart is moved from its rest position to be used during an emergency, and then the power supply, the smart box is disconnected from the power supply, then automatically a phone call is sent to the intensivist on duty. This intensivist then receives the phone call indicating where is the ward of the hospital where the emergency occurred, and so he can promptly intervene without wasting time. Furthermore, a web dashboard allows the administrator to check the status, in real time, the status of all emergency cards and also their call history. SafeRally instead is based on a wearable wristband that constantly monitors the motility of the driver, and it is associated with the smartphone app that acts as a gateway to forward alerts toward the backend system. In case the driver remains immobilized after an accident, then this abnormal situation is detected by the wristband that, by exploiting the internet connection of the smartphone, sends an alert to the SafeRally backend. This alert is then dispatched to the dashboard, the visual dashboard of all race officers on different devices, so they can have a real-time and consistent shared vision of the emergency, and so they can collaborate to start the intervention procedure. After that, the rescue team can so be sent fast to the location of accident without wasting time. Finally, this slide depicts the major collaborations with companies and research and university. So that's all.
Ericsson. The speaker. Okay. The speaker is or are Zoran Civadelic and Ivan. No. Okay. Okay. The title of the presentation is Ericsson IoT platform. Please, 10 minutes. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. We are Marco and Philip, and we'll present you Ericsson's IoT solutions. With the ever-maturing market, IoT market, there is always a larger diversity of solutions. However, we in Ericsson actually have made a view of two critical things. One is massive IoT, which is focused on millions of sensors in smart meters or hundreds of thousands of sensors in agriculture. On one hand, where the problem is low consumption of energy, the life of batteries, and the low price of those hundreds of thousands of sensors. On the other hand, there is a performance critical issue with smart traffic, smart control of devices, where the problems are high availability, high reliability, and very low latency. Great. The one who can gain from uniting many independent machine-to-machine products into a single cloud are companies and communities, I mean cities. Private persons, citizens, you, me, we have our independent smart homes, but when there is a large company, then it can unite its data, or a city, and then analytics can be applied, or even some data science projects. We'll present one of our IoT solutions. It's not the only one. It's called DDI, Dynamic Digital Interaction. Philip and I work as developers on one of its parts. The central component is the consolidator, which actually runs on two databases, on Cassandra. Cassandra is a NoSQL database, which can work on many nodes, and is very easily scalable and very performant. It's not under license, so you don't have to pay for the license. And the same thing is with Postgres. Cassandra stores sensor data, sensor measurements, while Postgres stores data about sensors, about sensor units, about users, about accounts, about roles. So we have all these authorization things implemented and solved. And we also have pushing mechanisms implemented, so you can publish and subscribe, and we can export the data to some other location. The other central point is the dispatcher, which receives the data from sensors and receives the user queries when users want to read data. Another component is the reactor, which makes real-time alerts when it realizes that some critical data have arrived. We have DDI installed in several use cases, of which Philip will now proceed to talk.
Thank you.
I will talk about some real use cases that we have and they are installed on top of the DDI platform and other Ericsson IoT solutions. So the first one is from our automotive domain. It's called Connected Vehicle Cloud. We developed this solution in cooperation with Volvo Cars, and every service that you have in your Volvo on the touchscreen that you can choose, this service is provided to you by Ericsson. Also, we are gathering the telemetrics data. We can gather telemetrics data from a Volvo, where you can track your average speed, average consumption, and all that stuff, and we can make some assumptions where is probably some traffic jam if your car is running 10 kilometers for the last half an hour, or other cars in this area. We can assume that there is maybe a traffic jam. Next we have the sports vertical, where we have our network arena event solution. And the first project that was based on this solution was Falun 2015 World Ski Championship. And we gathered all the information from all the competitors in this championship, like their start, end, and intermediate times, ski jump length, judges' points, medals, start lists, everything that has to do some kind with this competition. And we also covered the big screen TV that you could see in the arena, and if you're a visitor there, you can track the results live also there. We are still in the sports domain, where we signed a contract with Paris Saint-Germain to track performance of their players from the first and the second squad and from the reserves. We were also part, one component of our DDI platform was also part in the remote patient monitoring solution, where patients get some kind of a kit with sensors and gateway, and you can remotely measure your, for example, blood pressure or sugar level in the blood, and your doctor can immediately see the results. Currently active and in the development phase project is a connected traffic cloud, and our local Ericsson Nikola Tesla is in a pilot project with Croatian Telecom, City of Rijeka, and Autotrole. Autotrole is it's a company that's managing all the buses in Rijeka, and we are together on a connected bus stop Rijeka project. The idea behind this project is collect the data from many types of different sensors, like traffic signals, cars, parking sensors, smart lights, and a bunch of other sensors to a single point, and provide this information to some interested parties like city planners or traffic management center, and of course to the citizens. This is the high-level view of our solution. We have buses around the city. We have some air quality sensors and smart bus stops. These smart bus stops were provided to us by Croatian Telecom, and we have traffic cameras around the city. All this data from all these devices is stored to our Ericsson DDI component that is hosted in Ericsson Nikola Tesla, and it's pushing the data to our user interface. It's very simple and intuitive, simple to use, and you can there track GPS locations of every bus in the town, their driving schedule, the temperature in some areas of the town, and the real-time images of the traffic. You also have this screen in smart bus stops in some kind of screen. We'll demonstrate this solution if you're interested in technical side. So that's all. Thank you.
Next company is Selmet. The speaker is Veliko Bitu. The title of this presentation is RFID Solutions and the Use Cases. Selmet Vision. 10 minutes. So,
presentation of Selmet.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, my name is Veljko Pituh and I am CEO in company Selmet. The focus of our of Selmet is automatic identification and data capturing and industrial communication. Here we are because we think that RFID, which is our also very important field, is one of the pillars of Internet of Things. Second, in Selmet we have various types of readers, various types of antennas, and all of types of RFID labels and tags, so we are ready for market. These are our partners, which are main producers of RFID and barcode equipment. Please note this company Moxa. This is company producing the industrial Internet of Things products, high quality. Remember that name. Our customers are various, from government, banks, retail, producers, manufacturers, various. Now I will have just a few minutes to list you several of our solutions and applications. One of our customers is, like FDA in United States, is Helmet. This is Croatian agency for medical equipment and drugs. In the company, they have the archive of more than 200,000 technical units. They call them technical units. And before we install our application and solution, it was mess with this stock of material. Because they lose the documents, the inventory was never-ending story, and it was really mess. After implementing the RFID solution, everything is easy. So we used the normal desktop reader, label, RFID label printer for the label, and mobile RFID terminal, and now the inventory is a piece of cake. Another story which we are very proud of are two solutions we made for company Tubla, first in Varaždin and another one in Calcedonia near Modena. It is about the RFID tunnel. The Selmet is producing also RFID tables, RFID tunnels, and smart cabinets in RFID field. So I will try to show you a little film. So in these companies, all products slide. Where are you?
We will not see the movie. We will not see the movie.
I'm sorry, but the film is showing how all products are tagged with RFID tag. They are packed in the package. The package, after the production, is going to the RFID tunnel on the conveyor lane, and the RFID tunnel is counting all the products and their serial numbers in the package. So you know how many you are controlling the quantity, and in each package you have the unique number of each product, so you can know which product ends at which customer, so you can trace the product from source to the end customer. Sorry for not working the film. The other project which we recently finished is in Končar. This is a Siemens company producing power transformers in Zagreb. There is a project which is called tracking metal products in the production of power transformers. At that company, we installed so-called presentation mode. Yes. I don't have a mouse. Okay.
Can we try now this?
Everything was working in the morning.
That is possible to use until we start.
Close PowerPoint and open it again. So the idea in this project was to track the metal parts from the entry to the product line and then to track these metal products till the end of the production. To put the RFID tag on metal is tricky because you have to choose the proper tag. We made a pilot project with 8 different types of tags, and what we experienced was that we at the end had the 100% of reading on the gate. Here you can see the gate. On this left picture, this is the standard RFID portal or gate. We used various types of tags. The standard UHF rain tags, and we also used the tag which is dual tag, the upper picture there. This tag has 2 frequencies. One is standard UHF, and the other one is for long range purposes and outdoor use. We are using 433 megahertz with outdoor antennas. We tested a lot of packages, different types of material, and even in the most damaging cases where you have several layers of metal, we had 100% of success. To be honest, we didn't expect that. We expected the normal read rate of 99.5, but really on the all metal types of tags, we have results with 100% of reading. The other application is waste management, so chipping of waste bins, so with a HID tag, so we have the application for that. The application can be done with mobile terminals or with a vehicle which is equipped with RFID components, and we are suggesting UHF technology. The data which are gathered automatically can be sent directly to the ERP, but usually we need to have some additional reports for ministry and agency. Therefore, there is a need sometimes for the middleware. We are also have in automotive industry, we made 2 solutions for Volkswagen in Sarajevo and for Lipik glass factory, which is producing glasses for vehicles, trains and lorries. The application is done according to the VDA special standard. which is defining the structure of the data, and we made application and deliver to the customers the terminals with the application so that they can program tasks themselves according to the standard. There is one customer which is selling gold, silver, and wrist watches, and the problem is inventory. They are making inventory several times a day, and with the RFID solution, it can be done very quickly and very reliably. With company Almix from Canada, we made several RFID applications like eVoid, ePours, ticketing solution, tracking mine workers in mines, various applications. But one of the most impressive is the ticketing solution on island Maldives, where we have daily more than 15,000 cards transactions per day. We are using NFC tags. Another solution is in Zagreb Zoo, which we recently delivered. It is about 400,000 cards a year. The cards are with 2D barcode, but in the tender they ask for the self-automat where you can buy with the NFC card the ticket yourself. So any card, Amex, Visa, Master, Diners, you can use to buy a ticket, and when there is a huge row on the point of sale, then you can do it immediately on this automat. It is not the best design, but it's working perfect. So thank you very much, and I'm using this opportunity to inform you about the 4th RFID conference, which will take place in Zagreb on 19th September. So you can visit our web pages, and on the conference you can see more news and from the RFID world. Thank you. The video we missed, I can show you on the booth. Okay.
Last presentation, last company is Kain RFID. The speaker is Stefano Coluccini. The title of your presentation is Temperature Monitoring by RFID. Okay.
You need the audio. Yeah, that was the one. Or email. I think so, yeah. I think it's going to go. Because there's a video, so. Yeah, sure. I'll be here
Stefano, on the booth there are some kind readers,
yeah,
so you can show them.
Yeah, we can. After, volevo fare. Ok. Vedi se parte. Okay. So it's not. Sorry, this was not the first slide. Okay, so first of all, good morning all. I'm sorry I'm the last one, so I will try to make it faster, but I'm the last one, so I can stay even for a couple of hours. There's no other people after me. So just a couple of words about me. My name is Stefano Coluccini, and despite of my job title you can see here, I have a technical background. I'm a graduated in computer science, and I worked from 96 in Kain, not in Kain RFID, was not yet founded, but in the other company group as a software developer. And just in the last few years, I switched to the sales and marketing department. Or, as my former colleagues say, I joined the dark side of the force. that was my engineer colleagues say about me. But anyway, I will talk today about temperature monitoring with RFID. Before that, I would like to introduce the company very quickly. Veiko told a lot about RFID, so he saved my time about the application. Kind RFID is about the RAIN technology. RAIN is an acronym for a new alliance that was created by the RFID manufacturers to help people understand. Have a nice name for UHF, passive UHF RFID compliant to ISO 18006C technology that is not as simple as RAIN. It's just at the beginning. It's a couple of years that we are working on trying to develop this name, more or less. It's like, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is a nice name. I think it doesn't mean anything. Wireless fidelity, what is the meaning? But it really is a wireless network compliant to the ISO, etc. So it's a shortcut, let's say. The RAIN technology comprises all those things, so software, cloud, network, and so on and so on. We, as Kind RFID, are about readers mainly and special tags. So just a few milestones about us. So we were founded in 2003 as a branch activity of a bigger company. Our mother company is designing electronics for particle accelerators, high energy physics. You know the CERN in Geneva? We provide them data acquisition system, power supply. Our mother company. We are not providing RFID here, obviously, to them. And one of the engineers comes out with the idea of founding a company about RFID, and we started from there. During the years, we had some, let's say, milestones where we recognized it as one of the best company in the world about RFID, even if we are still quite a small company. And we had some nice projects we think are milestones, like the DHL project that I will talk to you about in some minutes, because it's about temperature monitoring. Then we had agreement with Datalogic, a big company in auto ID industry, and who knows, the next milestone could be today, this event. This is how we work. Our typical customer is a company like Selmet that presented before. So we don't work directly with the final users, but we have a system integrator in the middle that buy from us the hardware, put together the solution, add the software, and sell the solution to the customer, to the final user. Just a quick overview of the products. We have a huge portfolio of different type of readers, starting from modules that can be used to be embedded in the handles, printers, or even IoT devices that needs RFID, UHF RFID, RAIN RFID. Integrated readers with the antenna, so you have desktop readers or readers for small reading points with USB or Ethernet, something like that. Mobile readers, typically connected via Bluetooth to a smartphone or to a PC or to a tablet, whatever. And the classic UHF RFID reader that is the portal reader, the reader that you can use to build portals for pellets or tunnels, as we have seen before with Veiko. The special product we have is this. It's the only tag we manufacture and we design it. It's a temperature logger. So it has a memory, it has a temperature sensor, it has the RFID interface, and is used to monitor perishable goods during transportation, typically. This is the way how it works. So you can read the data from the logger with a reader, and the data is transmitted to the PC or the smartphone where you have the analysis software. We have 3 levels of analysis. reading just the state, you say is good, is not good. You can read some statistical data about the temperature during the transportation, or you can read all the data. Having all the data, these tags can have from, let's say, the minimum 4,000 samples, the maximum 8,000 samples, and you can read all this data, and that is important especially for pharmaceutical companies. They need all the data for their stability analysis about medicines. I don't know very well, but they need all the data. They just cannot rely on good status or bad status. But the important thing about the RFID, because data loggers, there are many data loggers around. Our main competitor are devices with the USB data loggers. They're very simple. You take the data logger from the package, you put it in the PC, and you have the report. It seems simple, but and is massive usage today in pharmaceutical companies. But because today they monitor only a small percentage of the transportation. They don't monitor all the packaging. There are new rules, new regulation in some countries coming out saying that in the future there needs to be a logger for every shipment, for every package. And you can understand that open the package, taking out the USB logger, plug into the PC. If you do that once a day, it's okay. If you have to do that for 1,000, 10,000 packages a day, that is not possible at all. With RFID, what you can do is sort of conveyor belt, a tunnel, where the package passes through, and you can read, let's say, red or green. So it's green, okay, go on. It's red, put apart. And then when it is at a destination, the pharmaceutical companies can download all the data at that point. So it's used to make an automatic process of temperature monitoring. That's the concept. Then we would like to talk about the DHL use case, because we have this rule that we don't work with final users. But what is a rule without an exception? With DHL, we work with the final user. That is because DHL has internal offices, internal software house, internal integrators, so they make all the solution their own. So we cannot involve any external system integrator. They made the solution themselves. Here there are some numbers. I don't remember, but you can read. They had celebrated 1 million smart sensor shipments. Smart sensor is the name of their solution. So, no, sorry. Smart sensor is the name they have done. They have assigned it to the sensor. That is this. You see the similarities between the green tag here and the yellow tag. It's just a different color. So the smart sensor is this, and Thermonet is the name of the solution. This slide, I think, is a couple of years ago. So we work with them from 2008, 2009 on this solution. I don't want to explain you too much about this. I have a short video. I have 3 minutes for a video because DHL they talk about the audio. I think the audio is not working. It was switched off. Anyway, there are subtitles, so.
For effort. In the life science and healthcare, it's all.
I know the problem. Okay.
You know the problem?
Yep.
Or even to extend their life expectancy. These products are particularly sensitive to temperature, and we need to bring them in to the market from different places, ensuring that they're in perfect condition when they get to the final user.
90% of our CSI and MNC customers are currently using DHL Thermonet. Across the globe, we have in excess of 4,500 dedicated trained life science and healthcare experts.
I am DHL Thermonet.
Je suis le filet de DHL de Thermonet.
The first step of ensuring the customer's shipment necessities are met is to understand their product's temperature control needs, packaging requirements, and contacts. The customer's products are managed by a team 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. LifeTrack is our state-of-the-art IT system that allows our customers to access information relating to their products and the data captured from the smart sensor temperature logger anywhere, anytime. Visibility and monitoring offers unbroken, worldwide, proactive tracking and intervention.
Cold chain design and implementation involves the creation of a customer-specific SOP, which is managed in our LifeTrack system and approved by the customer. Quality and compliance is the most important aspect of the temperature control supply chain. Many countries have their own practices. Manufacturers have to comply with these. DHL Thermonet helps them meet these practices. Life science and healthcare is one of our core competencies. We have almost 4,000 customers, generating €3.6 billion, supported by over 4,500 employees, processing over 1,000 DHL Thermonet shipments each month.
DHL's temperature management solutions are just what we require. They are consistent and they're process driven, and they enable us to connect our suppliers in Asia and China through to our customers in Europe and the US, thus providing product that is both reliable and in perfect condition when it arrives.
Okay, so just a word about that. You've seen application on mobile, application on PC. That was the thing that DHL developed. So we sell them just the loggers. That's the way. So last slide. You know, companies typically talk about mission and vision. You know. Mission is simple for us. It's to provide the best products for our customers that are using them for providing solutions to end customers. So it's like blah, blah, blah. For the vision, especially thinking about the temperature loggers, what we are doing is to increase the efficiency of logistics, so reducing CO2, monitoring food or medicine, that means less food wasted. That is a big problem, or save lives because you have medicine in good condition. So maybe our vision for the company is to help saving the world. That's all. Thanks for attention.
Thank you very much to all invited in the conference and everybody. We can conclude this first part of this workshop, and we can open the exhibition area that I think I'm sure that it's the more important part of this workshop, because it's possible to consolidate potential partnership in order to create new project together. Thank you very much again, and we can pass to the exhibition area. Thank you.
Slaveš tako slepo.